And pretending to be related to a guy named Rocky Balboa, though unfortunately he doesn't have the body weight nor the punch, but he does have the brains. You know, we're going to go down a road today in this quarter hour talking literally about media, about the left, about the agenda to destroy anything that may be a threat to someone else's victory at all costs. Now, admittedly, recently, Speaker of the House said that, in 2016, the raving embarrassment on Hillary Clinton was designed to destroy her, which is true, which has been done in every single presidential election for the last 40 years. But this time it seems a little more twisted, Dave. Do you agree? What do you got?
Well, I got to tell you, it's just fascinating what you just said here about the word twisted, and I love that. And it is a systemic approach by our friends on the left, whether you call them liberals, whether you call them whatever you want to call them, Democrats, whatever you want to call them, whatever flavor du jour you've got for those guys. Here's the crazy part. Whenever Joe Biden is close to fire, suddenly all the articles about Donald Trump that you could possibly throw out there emerge. Okay, and today is no different. And if you look at it, and we made a comment about this the other day, if you take a look at the balloon incident, right? What I'm calling, Circus Biden, who couldn't even handle a balloon. He was worse than a child in a circus going, there's a balloon. Here, all of a sudden, comments had to be made about the fact that there were balloons in Donald Trump's era. Did anybody fact check it? Did anybody look into it? Did anybody understand that? No. Biden
Well,
got
no. We have a listener that says they fact checked it and said CNN reported.
Because CNN, let's be realistic with CNN, ladies and gentlemen, is an honest reporting media. None of them are on. And I'm not talking about reporting. I'm talking about really that we have a substantial fact checking. It's not, don't give me CNN, because CNN went out of its way to fact check Donald Trump for 4 years and has done zero during the Biden administration. So please, let's leave that alone. What I'm trying to get at is whenever Biden gets into hot water, more articles about Donald Trump emerge. Now, listen, Donald Trump's his own worst enemy. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, he goes after Rihanna for the Super Bowl that she's talentless. He goes after Ron DeSantis. He does stupid stuff. Absolutely. And the media loves it and uses it as fodder whenever they need to help their ally, the Bidens, the Pelosi's. I mean, I got to ask myself, when Paul Pelosi was attacked, who do they blame? Trump. Because Donald Trump armed the guy with the hammer to go beat him up. Yep. And it's a fascinating obsession, Stuart, that the left has, that if my guy is screwing up, I got to point the finger to the other guy.
Did they ever eat their shorts on that one when they find out the guy is an illegal immigrant that should have been deported and was in a sanctuary city, which is why he wasn't? This twisted thing kind of reminds me of, and David, I don't know if you're going to like this, Soviet era.
Oh, you bring that up all the time.
Yeah, if you wanted to create a Soviet era type media where you control the narrative by telling organizations what you can and cannot do, and then basically tie yourselves in with those people. This just sounds like Soviet era type or socialist type media control, in the air quotes, David, that it's democratically done. And it's eerily scary. There's a show running right now called Reliquiem, on like how the slippery slope of freedom can get etched out. Listen, China has it in for any democratic nation. China wants to surpass everyone. That's their mantra. Okay, they're going to do it by lying, cheating, stealing, and they're going to do it by mind control, coercion,
Can't say that.
corruption,
Sure, we can't say
everything.
that because now we sound anti-Chinese. Come on, and
That,
now
that's
we're going to
what
be labeled as
I'm sorry.
racist.
Listen, anti-Chinese or anti-Asian, right? Anti-Chinese is really, I'm saying I'm anti-communism, and I'm anti-socialism, but I'm not anti-social justice issues. I'm not against Asian people descent. I'm not against people that live in China. My dissension is the communist or the what's it called? People's Republic of China, PRC. They're no longer called China by the Democratic government. They're called PRC. Let's get Trump involved. Everyone said Trump was the Russian Chinese stooge. But now, after just a few short weeks, Congress now ties the stooge as being the Biden clan. But they're going to continue to blame Trump because it's easier to blame someone of my mistakes than blaming myself.
Oh, but it's but no, but no, but it's easy to blame
One
Trump.
second, one second, David. The guy that farts in the room blames the guy who didn't fart in the room. And this is what stinks here, David.
But Stuart, it's not. I think that you're 100% right, but it's amazing.
What, you fart and you blame it on someone else?
Absolutely, blame it
Oh,
on the
sorry, you
dog.
fatulate for those,
Yes,
very
excuse me.
educated
Yes,
people.
explicit content, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing that's just fascinating is that everything like Trump, if you had to rewrite the dictionary, if you were on the left, Trump equals evil. Trump equals everything wrong. Trump equals hate. Trump, it's just fascinating. And the left, and if I look this morning, I just Google Donald Trump, even on Google, I will get every negative story I could possibly get.
Yep.
If I search it on Apple News, which is which aggregates stories from Huffington Post to Bloomberg to Washington Examiner, you name it, all I get are negative articles. There's not a single positive article that I could possibly find about Donald Trump. So it bleeds the question as to why. What's going on here? How is it that all of a sudden, I shouldn't say all of a sudden, it's been like this since 2016, that everything which could go wrong has to be related to Donald Trump. There can be nothing positive. I mean, it's fascinating because as a side note, and I brought this up numerous times, how the Abraham Accords have prospered for Israel, the UAE, Bahrain, South Sudan, Morocco. It's been fascinating. There's an alliances. There are scientific relationships. There are unbelievable advances. But Donald Trump doesn't get an ounce of credit. Instead,
the Abraham Accords don't get an ounce of credit. You don't hear about the Abraham
no,
Accords
but that's
because
the point.
it is a positive,
It's a positive story,
measure,
right? It's a
that,
positive story
that they can't deny.
And what did they do? So what does the left do? Instead of saying, look what Donald Trump did, what's great in the Middle East, he abandoned the Palestinians. He abandoned the peace accords. All Donald Trump wants is war in the Middle East. None of that is fact. The fact that he he cut all financial ties with the Palestinian Authority was predicated on stopping terrorism.
Yep.
You can't say that. No, Donald Trump and his administration actually did something positive, and the left can't handle that. So today, Biden is carrying the Palestinian cause. He has no problem throwing an ally under the bus, and the left adores it and blames Trump that Biden has to go do that.
So the left feels they are the academics in the room and they know better than
they're the adults in the room, not the academics. They're the adults in the room, and they know better.
But what I also find brutally amazing is it's good until it's no good for them, and then it's just bad.
But when it's bad, it's not their fault. When it's bad, now
it's
we have
Trump's fault.
To blame.
Is it Trump's fault?
Everything's Trump's fault, Stuart, because that's the problem. If you don't have a scapegoat, the spotlight's on you. So the American population has been indoctrinated since Hillary Clinton. She used the term the deplorables. Then we got Biden with his MAGA, his MAGA assault statements. We've got Democrats from Nancy Pelosi to AOC to the rest who accuse anybody who disagrees with them as being the enemy to the state. And it always all ties back into Donald Trump. No one can get away. Ivanka Trump and her husband, Jared Kushner, go off on their own to do their own thing. And the statement is the Trumps can't get along. I mean,
because you know what news is positive? I haven't seen
Stuart, I'll
any
tell you a positive story.
news.
No, I'll tell you a positive story, right? So unfortunately, you have an earthquake.
What Jill Biden teaches
No.
every day.
Forget about Biden kissing, Kamala Harris's husband. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Like, for example, the earthquake in Turkey and
Her
Syria.
eyes
right?
closed. By the way,
you have countries from around the world who went to rescue people. Okay, and it's interesting because Israel and Syria are bitter enemies, and Israel asked Syria permission, listen to that, to go and to help to rescue. They did the same thing in Turkey, and they did the same thing in Syria. That story is buried.
Yep.
To your point about positive stories, that story was buried. Now, if you watch Turkish news, you will see comments about Israel. If you watch Israeli news, you will see what Israelis are doing. But North American media has zero interest.
They blacked out positive, and it goes to the Abraham Accords, and it goes to peace that can be had in the Middle East if the left just stops buying into terrorism. I agree, David.
The left, but this is what Donald Trump brought it. And again, we are not here saying Donald Trump is the same. He's done some really.
Well, he's the only candidate that announced himself. Everyone is sitting on the fence because
no, we have a second candidate. We have others who are coming, and it's too early. But the point is that Donald Trump's been the lightning rod, even for the first 2 years of the Biden administration.
By the way, she didn't announce that she is. She's strongly considering it. She hasn't said yes.
Look, at the end of the day, it's too early. I don't care. Please give us a break from electioneering. But the point I'm trying to get at is everything, and again, I'm just keep on scrolling back. Donald Trump gets back onto Facebook and Instagram, and again, it's, oh my God, it's the end of the world as we know it. Free speech is in peril. Donald Trump is the evil incarnate, or the devil incarnate. Mike Pence is being called in, has been subpoenaed. You're going to see he's going to throw Donald Trump under the bus. Everything, it's fascinating that the State of the Union was considered one of the worst states of the Union ever delivered, and yet
it had more lies than a $3 bill.
But to divert from the reality of that, we need to blame Trump. We need to find articles about Donald Trump so that people could stop talking about Biden. Now, you folks are sitting here going, "That's a conspiracy theory." Come on, stop it. Disprove us, people. Please go out and disprove it, because it's. Again, if I were to look for an article about Joe Biden and economy, I'm going to find a ton of positive articles from the very beginning, from the first pages. But if I want to find anything negative, I got to go and dig deep. Search Donald Trump, and you'll have the exact reverse. So is this a conspiracy theory, or is this a coordinated effort to try to discredit?
No, the Democrats can't be responsible for any coordinated effort. I think what's testifying in front of Congress right now with the Twitter files, this is turning into an utter shit show for the DNC and in the FBI. And not to talk ill of law enforcement, but let me tell you something. There's always saying that there's a lot of bad apples in a tree. Doesn't mean the tree is bad. Well, I don't know. The FBI ain't looking too good this year. David, we're
Stuart,
reaching that quarter hour.
Once again, hey, listen, when it comes to the FBI, it's Donald Trump's fault. Don't blame the FBI for what they've done in their misjustice. It's Donald Trump's fault. That's all you're going to hear from the left and from everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. I think it's time for everybody to go have a good, relaxing weekend.
Yep.
Stuart, you want to sign us off?
When it comes on signing off, I can use my hands to sign you off, but I'll just give you a salute.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are intending to be part of a statistic, eating chicken wings on Sunday for the Super Bowl, you are part of a statistic that is hilarious. The most amount of chicken wings consumed in any day of the year. will be this coming Sunday for Super Bowl. So enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a